Hey y'all, it's your favorite sweet girl Sammy, and I am back from sabbatical. I just took a time off of social media like I always do, at least once or twice a year, just to recharge, refresh, and to really process what God is saying to me in this season. Um, I miss y'all, and I know y'all miss me, so I appreciate like all the love, from those who were waiting on me to kind of like speak on social media. Appreciate y'all. And my friends that just kept encouraging me to keep going. So I love all y'all. And I said I was coming back in October. I didn't say what day in October, so I'm trying to stick to my word and give it to y'all on the last day because I really wasn't ready. I wasn't ready. My last video, I said that I went through 2 seasons, and that was healing, and then the current season, which is soft girl season. But I actually went through 3. I started off with 3 seasons, and I openly declared it in the early videos, but just reminding y'all that before we begin to heal and before we get to walk in trying to give verbiage and learn what we feel in soft girl season, I had to surrender. I had to surrender. I had to give God everything, because I did learn I was a bit of control freak, and not in the weird like do what I say type of way, but I just always wanted to put my hands in stuff to like help people, to help things, to fix things. And I learned that wasn't my assignment. That was not my assignment, and I learned it the hard way. But within this season, I also did learn like you can push back from God, you know, um, but what He'll do, God don't give up on you. That's one thing I want y'all to know. Like, God does not give up on you, but what He does do is He takes His hand off of you, and He gives you back to yourself, and He just steps back and He waits until you call for Him, right? He'll never leave you nor forsake you, period. But He'll give you what you want. He'll give you what you want, and you'll learn the hard way that what you want is not what you need. And He will give you, everything your heart desires if it's in His will. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, if you do not want what's in His will, He'll just take His hands off you and just call me when you need me. Right? Right? So I ain't want to be like that. I ain't want to be like that. So I surrendered, and in surrendering, a lot of things were taken from me because you don't know what's necessarily going to happen when you give your life to God. You know what I'm saying? You don't know what's going to change, what He's going to mold, where He's going to restore. You do not know. And he snatched some things for me. He did. But with perspective, I learned it made me feel better. I'm not gonna say I learned. It made me feel a lot better, with a change of perspective, and that word has shifted a lot of people in my circle, in a way that I did not know until they come back with when they hit me back with my word, and I'll be like, oh shit, you listened. You know what I'm saying? Because in this time, like, even though I know I'm doing what God wants me to do, it's just like people don't listen to me. But more and more, He is showing me like everybody's listening to you because I'm telling you to speak. It's not like you speaking on your own merit, because y'all know I don't like talking. It's like I'm telling you what to say and when to say it and how to say it. And so it's because it's coming from the right place. It's being received. And I remember writing that in a journal at work, and literally 10 minutes later, a coworker was like, I'm gonna take what you said into perspective, and and I was like, dang, you really listen to me? And he was like, yeah. And that's been happening like more and more for me. So everything is very intentional for me. Everything is very intentional for me. Or rather, people understand it or not. I literally walk by faith, not by sight. But I also try to stick to my word once I say it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm very calculated. So I'm not just out here saying some stuff I'm not. I even catch myself from gossip nowadays, you know. I like have to openly declare it a safe space before I even start talking, because I'm like, I'm not even finna let this like kind of come back on me. So it's like, this is a safe place. I'm just venting, but you know what I'm saying, I ain't trying to gossip. You know, I'm doing better in those type of things. But sabbatical is great. Sabbatical is great because I'm still like withdrawn from a lot of places and spaces. So it's been going great. Um, and this time, I really tapped into vulnerability, and not just out here just being sad or things like that, but opening up to people, opening up to not just people I know, but people I don't know, and learning that my vulnerability is a superpower. Because more and more I'm learning I am a rock, but I'm gonna flip that for y'all. Uh, God say, on this rock I will build my church on. So if I'm gonna be a rock, at least it's a solid foundation to for God to build whatever He wants to build on me, in me, through me, it all. You know what I'm saying? So I'll be solid. However, I did have. Not only did I learn was vulnerability my superpower, the emotions of my vulnerability was even more of a superpower, because it was just like, the more I begin to open and break and spill out, you know what I'm saying, the more it was like a domino effect for my family, as they started to get their own healing. And they say ministry starts in the house. So, you know, I'm very grateful for even the small people I've been able to impact. Not the small people, but the small group of people that I've been able to impact. Because all you need is like 10, 20 good people, and man, it could really spark from there. So I appreciate y'all and all that. But yeah, it's been a time, y'all. I'm just really checking back in, let y'all know everything is good. And I got some prizes for y'all, like for real. Introduce y'all to some great people that I've literally met along the way. Like, I'll be doing one thing and God will shift me to go another way just so I can meet somebody. And not only for, you know, me to be rooted in myself and along my walk, but to know, like, when people tell you, like, you supposed to be here, like, you were supposed to come here, or you were supposed to talk to me, or you were supposed to bump into me. When those things start to happen, y'all, it has made me show my vulnerability in front of people without me wanting to. Like, I don't like to break down in front of people. I don't like to, you know, show my feelings, but in the most random moments, me just really giving my testimony or telling people like where God is telling me to go, like, it has really been impactful, and it has really made me break down in front of people. You know what I'm saying? Prime example, I was sitting next to a man at church, and he was a very manly man, but he was flawed. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was flawed. He was a very manly man, but he worshiped, and he worshiped so great. And it wasn't like big and grand like people expect you to do when you worship, but you could just see like his firmness, his leadership, of how he's gotten his family was just so inspirational for me. And I literally had to stop and tap in with that gentleman. Move you, my friend. I had to tap in with that gentleman and was just like, you know, I don't know how you're gonna take this. And his wife was right there, so I made sure to speak to both of them, and just let him know how great of an example he was for me, and how, in so many ways, God had placed me in that seat next to him to also not only speak to him for me, but to speak to him to let him know like what he and his family is doing is what God wants them to do, regardless if it's perfect or not. But for what I'm seeing, from the outside looking in, they were a great picture of what I want to eventually become. And with me telling him that, I broke down. And for this, not only this man, but his wife, to them both, and they were a young couple. They both embraced me, gave me a hug. We all kind of cried because, like, they received what I said, and I was vulnerable enough and strong enough to say it. So that was a whole thing for us, not even just for me, for us. So those little moments of meeting people, and really using this season for what it was for me to tap into my feelings, for me to find verbiage to my feelings, and for me to also know, like, God is calling me out, so I have to answer the call. And when you do things the right way, when God calls you out and it's time to answer the call, it's not just you. It's people around you. Like, it's a group of y'all. It's really God's kids. Like, he will call you at a certain time and y'all will all get the phone call to start walking. Prime example, shout out to Tim Ross in the basement. I ain't gonna say Tim is a pastor. He does not like to be called Pastor Tim Ross. But Tim just transitioned from a pastoral role to more of an apostle role, which is more of a building role and less of a shepherding role, right? He stepped down from his church with no scandal, but because God was leading him in a different way. And he started a podcast called The Basement. So it's not opening him up to him to just say whatever he want to say, but it's opening him up to say the things he couldn't say in a church setting. And it has blown up. It has blown up tremendously in the last 4 or 5 months, however long it's gone. But the thing about him that aligned and resonated with me is that he's an introvert. And I'm an introvert. Just because y'all see me turned up, I am a very homebody, and I'm literally like a real big introvert. And it's like God called him to step out of his comfort zone, which was preaching, to step out in the world to speak. And just being on the walk with him, because that's my Dallas church, just being on the walk with him, and I've been really on his road. Like, I've actually been able to go to his church more than I've been able to go to my own, just because of like how my scheduling has worked. And to be like, okay, you're in a season of shift, and I'm, ironically, because I'm in line, I'm shifting with you, and we're all kind of shifting at the same time. So that's how you know, like, whatever is going on, like, it's time. Like, God is speaking. Even to go as far as, like, when y'all see videos or y'all see songs or y'all see these memes that's just popping up, and y'all just think people in their feelings. Yeah, people in their feelings the most time, but for it to be such a vast, like, amount of people that are in their feelings or things that have been coming out like that, it's not because they're in their feelings per se. That's because that's the time that we're in. Like, God has literally orchestrated this time for vulnerability, for people being in their feelings, for people not only fixing the outside but cleaning that inside, creating me a clean heart and renewing me a righteous spirit. Like, it's a thing. So when y'all be seeing me post songs, don't just think I be in my feelings. That's sometimes them the songs that just be popping on. You know what I'm saying? That's just the time we in. And I cause I even said, like, one of my favorite sayings, and that's just where I'm at right now. One of my favorite sayings is staying in my bag. And a friend used to teach me this. You stay in your bag. Your bag is not necessarily your money all the time, but your bag is your word. And for me, that's my bag. I stay in my bag. I stay in my word. Whether it's reading the word, whether it's speaking the word, whether it's listening to the word, like, I've been in my bag, and it's literally been like one of the best things that's ever happened to me. Get in your bag, stay in your bag. That's the time. You know what I'm saying? Even how the song goes and what the song is about, like, that's the time, space, and season we're in. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, just stay on this journey with me, y'all, because there's a lot coming, and I ain't gonna fail y'all. I'm back slowly but surely. I'm gonna stay consistent. And it's a little scary, to be out here like this in the deep, but God does not give us a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind. So just know I'm just chasing peace, y'all. And if y'all want that peace, y'all ain't gotta do it like me. I ain't telling y'all to do that. But if y'all asking me like what I'm doing, how I'm doing it, how you do that, this is what I'm doing, this is what works for me, and you could choose to tweak it however you want. You could choose to not do it at all. But I'm just gonna submit my walk to you, and if you wanna follow all the drip, you gonna see it. It's a footsteps of drip of this healing and this overflow that I have on me. And so if you're looking for me, you're gonna end up stepping in it, right? You're gonna end up stepping in that healing. So you're gonna always know where to find me, and you're gonna always know how it's gonna work. So y'all just stay with me. Stay with me. I'm coming. I'm coming. And like I said, I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And that's all I got for right now.